A quick warning up front, I unfortunately came down with the dreaded post-Thanksgiving ligma, so if I sound even more nasally than usual, that would be why. Uh, I really wanted to talk about this though while it's all like fresh on my head, so that's why I decided to record the script now. So yeah, enjoy. A couple of weeks ago, I completed the Lord of Hollows ending in Dark Souls 3 for the first time. That might be a bit surprising given the conceit of this channel, but from a role-playing perspective, it's just not an ending I would ever choose. That being said, I'm very glad I finally went to the effort, as it's given me an awful lot to think about. Since completing the ending, I've become pretty fascinated by the Hollows of Londor, and like a lot of people in the community, watching their plans unfold invariably led my mind back to Aldia. A number of people have suggested that Aldia may be involved with Londor, and it's not difficult to see why. Aldia was skeptical of the Age of Fire, but he was also apprehensive about the coming Age of Dark. He devoted himself to seeking something else entirely, and the Lord of Hollows ending certainly seems like something outside of that binary. Moreover, he made a point of referring to the player character as a Hollow.
Young Hollow, conqueror of fear. Young Hollow, do you wish to shed this curse? Young Hollow, knowing this, do you still desire peace?
Clearly, hollowness mattered to him as much as it does for Londor. I disagree with this assertion, though. I don't think Aldia has anything to do with Londor, and I think the argument relies on a misunderstanding of Aldia's character. Aldia did use the word hollow a lot, he definitely seemed to like it, but hollow isn't a nickname, it's a descriptive term. Hollow refers to a state of being, and yes, Londor uses the same word as Aldia, but they are not referring to the same thing. Aldia called the player a hollow, but hollowness is not something that Aldia took pride in. From Aldia's perspective, a hollow is the original and intended form of man, the thing that we would have been if Gwyn had not linked the fire and shackled us with a fleeting curse called life.
Once the Lord of Light banished dark and all that stemmed from humanity. And men assumed a fleeting form. Men are props in the state of life, and no matter how tender, how explicit, the lie will remain a lie.
We were peaceful and unfeeling immortals, meant to inherit the largely peaceful and unfeeling world that the first flame would leave behind. That future never came to pass, and humanity became something else. Linking the fire means continuing to run away from the truth, that at our center we are all just hollow. But just because Aldia knew what humans really were, doesn't mean that he embraced it. He actually did, literally the opposite. It's kind of the point of Dark Souls 2. He spent his entire life pursuing some other solution, something that could keep him from going hollow without linking the fire. Aldia never embraced hollowing. He ran from it like everyone else. He just happened to run in a different direction.
I am Aldia. I sought to shed the yoke of fate, but failed. Now, I only await an answer.
There's no world in which Aldia pursues anything like a monarchy of hollows. It just doesn't make sense for his character. But the much bigger problem, and the one I alluded to in the title, is that the hollows of Londor aren't actually hollows, certainly not the kind of hollows that Aldia described. They take on the appearance of hollows, but they use purging stones and they pillage humanity to keep their minds intact. All they care about is the aesthetic, the face of true humanity, but they don't embrace what accepting their true form would actually mean.
The Age of Fire was founded by the old gods, sustained by the linking of the fire. But the gods are no more, and the all-powerful fire deserveth a new heir, our Lord of Hollows, who weareth the true face of mankind.
They're just pretending to be real humans. And if you've played Dark Souls 2, that should sound familiar. Putting up a facade, living a constructed life, deluding yourself into thinking you're something you're not, is exactly the struggle that Aldia described. The Hollows of Londor aren't really that different from regular humans. The Hollows talk the talk, but they do not walk the walk. To embrace true hollowness is to let the curse take you, and this they will not do. Even if Aldia had abandoned his motivations and plotted to usurp the fire in this way, he would not have called the player a Lord of Hollows. This is simply not the kind of hollowness he described. I want to end this video with a discussion about the Dark Sign. The Dark Sign is a seal of fire that surrounds and cages the dark soul of man. When the first flame begins to fade, the seal of fire weakens and the dark soul of man starts to emerge. But the Dark Sign is also a visual metaphor. It's a thin, wispy shell of fiery light surrounding an abyss void of anything we could ever make out. The Dark Sign is a human, exactly as Aldia described. The outside, the part sustained by fire, is bright and warm, but paper thin, a veil to cover the nothing that slumbers inside. If you choose to link the fire at the end of Dark Souls 3, the Dark Sign stays in the sky. Humanity continues to pretend that they are anything but hollow. If you choose to let it fade, however, the Dark Sign finally disappears. There is no more veil to cover what we are, and the world goes dark alongside us. In the Lord of Hollows ending, though, the Dark Sign stays in the sky, and the Ring of Fire changes to white. The veil has not lifted, it has merely shifted form. Its appearance has changed, but it covers the same thing. The void within us remains, and we still cannot accept it. The Hollows of Londor are anything but.